So today's video is about Roth IRAs. When is the best time to do a Roth conversion? And the discussion that we usually have with our clients is the ideal time usually from ages 60 to 70. And the reason why that is because if we're retiring at age 60, what that does is necessarily starting Social Security if we don't have to, or we can't claim Social Security yet. Um, and then if we have maybe a war chest of cash built up over time, what we can do now is control the amount of income we choose to take, which uh, which means that if we want to now cause what is a taxable event to take money that hasn't been taxed yet in our traditional 401k or traditional IRA and convert that money into a Roth IRA, paying the taxes on the dollar amount that we're choosing to convert. This is the ideal time because we can control how much income we're going to make. Hey, I'm Derrick Alexander with Greater, and here we're going to walk through what this strategy entails. So, with that being said, between ages 60 and 70, and the reason why is for the ability to control our income. The best way for us to approach this is to have already had that conversation. If we had an opportunity to start planning for this in at age 55, that way we can start creating what I like to call a bridge account between the date that we're going to retire and the date that we're going to start Social Security and or start pulling from our other accounts. Essentially it's just a big pool of cash or cash equivalents that we're able to pull from, keep our income relatively low since we've already been taxed on those dollars. And then when we decide to take out 50, 100, 200,000 dollars, whatever that amount is, and pay the taxes on that, we're put in a much lower tax bracket than we would have been if we would have did it during our working years. Because during our working years, we may have been making 100,000, but then if we wanted to convert 200,000, it would have pushed us into a different tax bracket. So that's the number one reason why age 60 and 70 are usually the best times to convert. Now, the way we determine how fast we're going to do the conversion, let's say you have a larger portfolio, is what we like to do is a tax projection. On that tax projection, we can essentially run an analysis that says, hey, if we do this much, we'll pay this amount in taxes. But that's where a good CPA or a good financial advisor comes into play to start running those calculations and kind of break it down what this means for you. Also, other things to consider are like your IRMA penalties, uh, and all in all, understanding how fast or how slow you want to do that. Sequence of returns in regards to the stock market. So it's a lot of conversations to have. Throughout this process. But I also think there are times where it doesn't necessarily make sense. We're adding an extra layer of complexity for really no reason. But if you're somebody that has a much larger, I don't say much larger, but let's say you have, uh, you know, above, let's say $1 million, $2 million on your IRA, this is probably a good conversation for you to have, especially with requirement of distributions that may be coming up. Just running the math on if it's worth it or not.